It happened before the lunch rush. No warning. No meeting. No witnesses willing to look up. She stood behind the counter. Hands steady. Back straight. 7 months pregnant. Uniform stretched tight. Shoes already hurting. He didn't ask her to sit. He didn't lower his voice. He didn't look at her stomach. He looked at the schedule, then the numbers, then her. You're done here. Just like that. No explanation. No paperwork. No pause. The room went quiet. Frying oil hissed in the background. A receipt printer kept going. Someone dropped a tray. No one spoke. She waited. Maybe there was more. There wasn't. He turned away. Already done with her. She stood there for 3 seconds longer than necessary. Not to beg. Not to argue. Just to understand how something so final could be said so casually. Her hands moved to her stomach. Not dramatic. Instinctive. A small pressure. A reminder. The baby kicked. Right then. She exhaled slowly. Not in anger. In control. I'll need my termination notice. He laughed. Short. Dry. You're hourly. There's nothing to give you. She nodded once. As if she expected that answer. She reached into her apron. Pulled out her phone. Checked the time. 10:47 a.m. She would remember that. He noticed. Frowned. Don't make this difficult. She didn't respond. She removed the apron. Folded it. Placed it neatly on the counter. Someone behind her whispered her name. She didn't turn around. She walked toward the door. Slow. Measured. Every step heavier than the last. Behind her, the manager spoke again. You should have planned better. That one landed. Not loud. But sharp. She paused. Just for a second. The baby kicked again. Harder this time. She rested a hand on her stomach. Still didn't turn around. Then she left. The door closed behind her. The bell rang. Once. And that was supposed to be the end. The sun was too bright. The parking lot too busy. Cars moved on like nothing had happened. She stood near the curb. Breathing carefully. Counting. 1 breath in. 1 breath out. Her phone buzzed. A reminder. Doctor's appointment. Tomorrow morning. She stared at the screen. Then locked it. She didn't cry. Not yet. She walked to the bus stop. Sat down slowly. Lowered herself the way pregnant women learn to. Careful. Protective. A woman nearby glanced at her stomach. Then away. The bus came. She climbed on. Paid. Saturday. Stared out the window. The restaurant disappeared behind her. She didn't look back. She didn't need to. Inside, the manager felt fine. Relieved, even. One less problem. One less accommodation. One less schedule conflict. Pregnant workers slowed things down. Everyone knew that. He told himself it was business. Always business. He went back to the office. Updated the schedule. Deleted her name. He didn't file anything. Didn't need to. She wasn't important enough for records. He didn't know. Not yet. She didn't call anyone. Not her mother. Not her friends. Not even her husband. Not yet. She waited. Because she knew something he didn't. She understood systems. She understood timing. She understood paper trails. And she understood one thing very clearly. This wasn't over. Not even close. The restaurant stayed busy. Lunch rush came. Orders stacked. Complaints moved on. Her name didn't come up again. Not that day. Not the next. Schedules don't remember people. They erase them. The manager liked that. He liked clean lists. Short shift. No complications. He told himself he'd done the right thing. He always did. She got home just after noon. The apartment was quiet. Too quiet. She placed her bag down. Sat slowly. Let the weight settle. Then she stood again. Went to the kitchen. Poured water. Drank it carefully. Her phone buzzed again. This time, not a reminder. A message. Are you home early? She stared at it. Didn't answer right away. She placed the phone face down. Walked to the bedroom. Opened the drawer. pulled out a thin folder. Plain. Unlabeled. Inside were documents. Not dramatic ones. Ordinary. Pay stubs. Shift schedules. Emails printed out. A copy of her employment contract. She flipped to the last page. The one that mattered. The clause he never read. She closed the folder. Sat on the bed. Then she picked up her phone. Yes. Something happened. The typing bubble appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Then stopped. Her phone rang. She let it ring twice before answering. Her voice stayed even. No tremor. No emotion offered. I was fired. Silence. Not confusion. Calculation. Today. Another pause. 7 months, she added. That part mattered. He exhaled slowly. She could hear it. Not anger. Focus. Did they give you anything in writing? No. Did anyone witness it? Yes. Did you record anything? No. Another breath. Longer this time. Did you keep your schedule? Yes. That was enough. Come home tonight, he said. I'll handle the rest. She ended the call. Still no tears. Not yet. The manager sat in his office. Feet up. Coffee cooling. He checked his email. Mostly junk. Then one message caught his eye. Subject line. Employment audit pending review. He frowned. Audits weren't unusual. But this one didn't come from corporate. It came from legal. He opened it. Read it once. Then again. A request. Routine language. But the date range stood out. It included today. Specifically today. He leaned back. Checked the time. 1:32 p.m. He hadn't documented the termination. He told himself it didn't matter. Hourly staff turned over all the time. Till. He opened the employee system. Searched her name. Nothing. Deleted already. He frowned deeper. He checked the logs. System timestamp. Deletion time. 10:49 a.m. 2 minutes after she checked her phone. He didn't notice that detail. Not yet. The company had a policy. Quiet. Unadvertised. Any termination involving pregnancy triggered review. Automatic. No discretion. No exceptions. He never bothered to learn that. Because it never applied to him. Until it did. At 3:07 p.m., his phone rang. A number he didn't recognize. He ignored it. It rang again. He answered. Yes. A calm voice. Measured. Professional. This is corporate compliance. We need to confirm a staffing decision you made this morning. He straightened. Yes. What about it? An employee was terminated at 10:47 a.m. He glanced at his screen. The timestamp again. Yes. She is 7 months pregnant. Silence. Not denial. Not surprise. Just space. That is correct? He swallowed. Yes. Was legal counsel consulted prior to the termination? No. Another pause. Was documentation provided? No. Were accommodations discussed? No. The line stayed quiet. Then, thank you. We'll be in touch. The call ended. He stared at the phone. The room felt smaller. Not dangerous. Just tighter. She arrived home later. This time to lights on. Dinner waiting. He didn't ask questions. Didn't lecture. Didn't reassure. He asked for the folder. She handed it over. He went through it slowly. Line by line. Time-stamped. Schedules. Email headers. Then he nodded. Once. This will move, he said. Quietly. She sat down. The baby kicked again. She rested her hand there. Finally. She let herself breathe differently. Not relief. Not yet. Just certainty. The next morning was ordinary. People moved as usual. Coffee, orders, cleaning. The manager noticed nothing. Or so he thought. An older cashier checked her logs. She remembered the morning. A subtle hesitation in the manager's tone. A shift swapped silently. A name erased too quickly. She made a note. Nothing dramatic. Just facts. By 10 a.m., 2 corporate auditors stepped in. No fanfare. No cameras. Quiet footsteps in a buzzing restaurant. The manager paused mid-coffee. He thought it was routine. But their folders were thick. Dates highlighted. Emails printed. Schedules compared. Every deletion tracked. Every gap noted. No detail small enough to escape. He felt the pressure. Not loud. Not shouted. Just the quiet weight of observation. At 11:42 a.m., an auditor held up the folder. The same folder she had prepared. Printed copies of every shift, every email, every timestamp. "This employee is 7 months pregnant," one auditor said softly. "Was legal counsel consulted?" The manager shook his head. No reply. The auditors glanced at each other. Not judgmental. Just inevitable. The truth was in the paperwork. And paperwork does not lie. The team asked questions. Quietly. Methodically. Other employees started remembering small details. Notes exchanged. Emails forwarded. Witnesses suddenly attentive. The manager's confidence cracked. Not violently. Not angrily. But the cracks widened. Every log. Every omission. Every deleted timestamp. It all pointed to the same conclusion. By 2:15 p.m., the auditors pulled up the HR system. They compared it to the company's pregnancy accommodation record. There it was. A discrepancy. A violation. A system triggered by design. She had been protected before the law. He hadn't known. And now he couldn't hide. The HR manager issued a statement. Corrective actions began. Internal review escalated. The manager would face consequences. Quietly, efficiently, inescapably. No shouting. No fanfare. Just balance restored. She watched the baby kick again. Her hand rested on her belly. The world outside moved as usual. But inside, justice had arrived. Silent. Heavy. Unavoidable. By evening, the office was quiet. The usual buzz subdued. People spoke in whispers. Emails pinged silently. The manager sat at his desk. No phone calls answered. No meetings scheduled. Just the weight of consequences pressing down. HR reviewed every action. Every deleted note. Every shift reassignment. Every policy ignored. The penalties were clear. Demotion. Mandatory training. Formal reprimand. The company's records would show it all. Permanent. Unavoidable. The CEO entered quietly. No spectacle. No words raised. Just observation. He reviewed reports. Cross-checked emails. Checked schedules. He nodded once. Acknowledged the truth. Protection reinstated. Rights restored. The CEO didn't shout. Didn't humiliate. Justice needed no noise. She returned to work. 7 months pregnant. Supported. Respected. Her colleagues glanced. Not in envy. Not in judgment. But in recognition. Every subtle gesture. Every polite nod. Acknowledged what had been denied. The baby kicked. She smiled quietly. No celebration needed. Truth was enough. The manager would remember this day. Not for humiliation. Not for spectacle. But for the inevitability of consequence. The CEO's silent oversight. The auditor's methodical diligence. Every record, every timestamp. It all added up. Justice arrived. Calmly. Heavily. And permanently. She left the office that evening. Hand on her belly. A quiet life ahead. A silent victory won. No one cheered. No one clapped. The truth lingered. Heavy. Final.